kind of like almost dopamine state. So you're like just doing things that makes you feel good. And of course you should, but having focus and having structure and having a schedule, especially if you're launching or you're going to get a goal, it will help your brain to compute what it should be doing when and what's next, and learning how to complete one task before you move on to the other. And know that you're going to be Okay, welcome back. It is week 2 into stepping into your new season. So all about goal setting. All of January, we're going to be talking all about how to set goals and the 4 key areas that will help you set effective goals that you'll actually stick to. So we are now on the second leg of it, and it's all about the one thing that is actually going to hold you back from hitting your goal. And it's the questions that you have to ask yourself, like, what is going to hold me back from hitting this particular goal that I have now set for my business for 2021? So, for example, the first thing to do is to look at your previous goals. So when you have set previous goals, for example, like last year, and especially the ones that you didn't hit, like there's no shame in it, nothing. Like I had goals, I didn't hit them last year. And it's about looking at them, because with the ones that, instead of casting judgment and shame towards the goals, like goal shaming yourself, it's actually looking for evidence and data to be like, okay, what didn't work last time that I can figure out how I can help improve this time round. So for example, if you knew that you wanted to make, I don't know, $2,000 or pounds in Q4 last year, and you only made 1,500. Okay, what about that? Because you 100% celebrate because you made money, but it wasn't what you initially forecasted to want to hit. Like that wasn't your end target that you were looking for. So yes, you can analyze your action to be like, okay, what didn't I do? And a lot of the time our brains will go to be like, okay, I didn't show up every day on social media, or I didn't contact and speak to people directly every day of the quarter. But truly, those actions do help you achieve your goal, but it's more about the mindset and the brain behind the actions. So for example, if you didn't show up every day on social media, was it because the first day you didn't show up and you thought, okay, it's fine, and then you were like, but I should have, and then the second day you are then still reeling off of the first day of like, I should have done that, why didn't I do that, I was too busy doing this and blah blah blah, and you were too busy almost shouting at yourself in your head. So you're beating yourself up about something you haven't done. And those small thoughts compound and compound and compound. And then before you know it, you haven't showed up on social media for a week because of the one day that you thought, okay, I just want to have that day off. And you didn't choose to show yourself compassion and love in that time. You decided to be like, well, I should have, everybody else. And then you compare and look at other people that maybe look like they're doing really well and ahead of you. And then you look at where you are, and then you again beat yourself up again, because you're like, well, I should be further along. But if I had shown up on social media 5 days ago, then I could have been further along in my target. I could be matching up to someone that you follow on social media, for example. So there's small little things and they're thoughts, there's small little thoughts that you would just, they're kind of throwaway. You kind of think like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. That's just the way you think. But they're truly the things that chip away at your confidence. Those are truly the things that then start to compound and start to reduce in your level of energy towards taking action towards that particular goal. It reduces in your motivation to be like, I'm going to get this goal. I'm $500 away, I'm £500 away from my goal, but I'm still at, say it's 3 days before the end of the quarter. And you're like, well, it's too late now. because then the thoughts from before is it's like, well, I should have been further along, because if I didn't take that time off 5 days ago or a month ago for those 5 days, I could have been further along and I could have already hit my goal, example, and not be here right now. And there's 3 days left until the end of the year, and there's no point because the year's done. But no, there's actually time. You have 3 days, but it's about where you choose to take your thoughts from to give you motivation to drive forward. If you take your thoughts from, well, I haven't done it, I should have done it, I'm not doing really well, it's too late, that's not going to motivate you moving forward. So it is about looking at the thoughts behind the action, because the action alone is not going to just help you hit goal. It's about what you're thinking about yourself. How you're talking to yourself is what is the biggest component on what will hold you back in hitting your goal this year. So my biggest thing is that looking at your old or missed goals and looking and seeing if what happened there, and not in so much, like I said, not so much in the action. And I suppose the action will give you a bit more of a clue as to what you were thinking. So the things that you feel like you planned to do, but you didn't do. So for example, if you had a lot of actions, for example, like you on podcasts, you're doing videos, you're doing workshops, you are going live every day, you are writing blogs, you are, guest posting, you are doing a lot of things. And as part of your strategy to achieve your goal, that was what you put on there. But on a weekly basis, every single day, there's just too much to do. And then you then became overwhelmed. You then started to burn out. You became too overwhelmed, too busy, not really focused on one thing. If that was what happened in your last goal, moving forward, okay, this is what didn't go so well last time. And to improve for this year's goals, I'm going to honor my schedule. I am going to prioritize specific actions and block them into my calendar, and then making sure that I block everything in, making sure it's achievable in the time that you have around like coaching clients and stuff like that. So, and then including like your sales calls and stuff like that. So you include everything in your calendar to make sure that it's effective for the way your life is. And it's not overwhelming. So then you know what to focus on for a period of time, probably an hour block max. And then you move on to the next thing and you just complete each task according to your calendar. That way, you're then not overwhelmed or thinking of 1,000 things that you think, okay, when you feel like it, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And you have that burst of inspiration and then you go and do something. And then you don't fully finish it because then you move on to something else and you move on to something else. And that's just your way of training your brain that you don't have to finish anything. And that's where overwhelm comes in, because you are too busy in your kind of like almost dopamine state. So you're like just doing things that make you feel good. And of course you should, but having focus and having structure and having a schedule, especially if you're launching or you're going to get a goal, it will help your brain to compute what it should be doing when and what's next, and learning how to complete one task before you move on to the other one. So it's all about, like in the last video I spoke about, it's all about the simple goal setting mindset framework. So you have that one goal, one mindset, and then you take one action at a time. And this is where you take that one action at a time. So you schedule it in, you block it out, and you complete that action until you get to the next one. Especially if you know in your last goal, you were super overwhelmed by the like thousands of things to do. So it's about taking knowledge from your missed goal and learning from it moving forward, because that is the thing that will hold you back, because it's just a pattern of behavior, what you do. So what you've done last time that didn't work too well, you're just looking out for the pattern of behavior that did not serve your last goal, that because your brain is very efficient and it will work in the exact same way. And the way you respond to stress will be the exact same way you did last time, which is potentially if you got super overwhelmed, you probably shut down for a period of time, or if not completely, and abandoned the goal completely. One of the two. So you will completely shut down. And in order for you not to get to that breaking point, is for you to take note of how you behave when things just get too much. And if things do get too much, how can you have basically, it's like going to the doctors and saying that you have a headache, knowing that you're eating loads of sugar, knowing that you are not getting loads of sleep, knowing that you are, eating really crappy food, but you're still going to the doctor for them to prescribe you a, medication. But truly looking at the triggers, looking at the things that you could change. So changing your diet, changing your sleeping pattern, drinking more water. Those are the things that you know that you can do to improve. So the next time, if there is a next time, or to prevent there being a next time, you know what to do. So it's the same thing. You have to look at what happened last time, what things didn't work too well for you, how you work, because you know yourself. I know myself, and I know I need a schedule. Like, it is very, very, very clear that I need a schedule. And when I don't, I'm very flustered. I feel very busy and not so productive all the time. So it's really important to know and take note of your weaknesses. Like, what are the things that you know that really kind of like push you to the edge and push you to the breaking point, not a negative breaking point where you feel like, okay, I just need a break. Like, whenever you feel like that, you know that there's something that's not working right for you. And that is the thing that you need to change for your next goal. So that habit doesn't consistently repeat itself, because if you don't change it, it will just continue to happen. You know that saying, like, if you want something new, you've got to change something. You've got to change something, change your mindset in order to get a new goal. So you have to change something, or else the old things will continue to happen and get you the same results. So this is this week's tip. It's all about what will hold you back. Asking yourself the question, like, what is going to hold me back this year? What limits will I come up against that I've had before that I know didn't work out for me? And asking yourself those questions and sit with it and see what comes up, and just have a look back, take stock of what's happened previously, and just evaluate that and look at your behaviors. It is your action, because that's what you see, but it's more remembering how you felt when you were doing that action, or when that action wasn't working for you. How were you feeling and what was you thinking? And that's the key to be able to change your mindset, which is basically changing the thought habits and the thought patterns in your brain to be able to get different results in your life and in your business primarily. So just a quick recap. What you need to do is think about the one thing that you know is going to hold you back, because it held you back in your last. Have a look at your last missed goal. See what actions you took that you feel like didn't work too well, and then look at how you were thinking beforehand. So in that time of when it wasn't working, and what you were saying to yourself. So like I said, a lot of the time it's all about the conversation you have in your mind is 80% of the reason why we miss goals or achieve them. And 20% is the strategy stroke action we take. So I hope this is helpful. Do let me know how you're getting on, if it is helpful to you, and especially with your goals this year. Like, please do let me know if you need any help. I am more than willing to have a look, get you moving, get you like shifted in a very short space of time. If you do want any support, please do join the Confidence Coaches Club. That is my free Facebook group here on Facebook. And it is for coaches that are building their business, that want to build self-confidence in themselves in order to show up, grow, and scale their business moving forward and sign more clients. You want to stop people pleasing and start pleasing yourself first. We have live coaching every week. There will be free trainings, free resources, a really supportive, like-minded community led by Ron. So please do join us over on the Confidence Coaches Club. I will leave the link to the group in the comment box below. But if you have any other questions, do not be afraid to DM me or message me or leave me any type of email, note, whatever it is, any fly, like the fly pigeon, whatever it is, please do let me know and I'm here to help. All right. Thank you so much and I'll speak to you next week. Take care.